So, back again. The burnt ends, we got them right here. We can't see them so great. They're definitely smoky. I do a little recap. Pork belly. I cut it into cubes. I trimmed the fat, some of it, the excess fat. Only one of the maybe a 1/4 inch fat on the cap. I cut it up into cubes. I put them in a bowl. I put my my Kinder's brown sugar rub on it. I put some cayenne pepper, some chipotle pepper, some kosher salt, some fresh ground pepper on them, and then I let them sit in a bowl overnight. Then I threw them on the smoker, smoked them for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Started out low, about 180, 200 right in there, and then it brought the temperature up to about 225, 230 for 2 hours. This is where we're at right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them inside this aluminum foil pan. And then one thing you want to do before you start grabbing all the meat, get your everything you're going to add to it open and ready. So I'm going to add, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw them in the pan. Throw them in this pan. Okay. A lot of people say to spray this down with, you know, some kind of cooking spray or the rack, because I smoke them right on this rack in the smoker, so they get the smoke flavor and they cook all the way around evenly. I didn't put anything on this rack, and you notice they didn't stick; they came right off. I had no issues whatsoever. All right, set that aside. Okay, get them in here nice and layer. Now, granted, I only did a small pork belly. Normally I would probably do a lot more, but I'm actually doing burnt ends, a 5-pound pork butt, and a rack of St. Louis style ribs. I'm doing all of that at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit more of our Kinders on there. Not a lot, just a little bit more. Then I'm going to put some honey. I'm going to put some honey in there. Just drizzle it all over. You're going to take and mix this all up. And I'm using a all natural, locally harvested honey to do this. This is all local honey right here in Northern California. You don't have to put a whole lot, but you know, definitely put some honey in there. And then I got some. No, most of the time I just use Sweet Baby Ray's. This happened to be some Kinders at the market there at Nuggets. I buy my meats and stuff like that at Nuggets. I really like their meat. It seems to be a better quality meat. So I buy my meats there. Okay, so we're going to put some barbecue sauce on here. Just drizzle some barbecue sauce. It doesn't have to be a ton. Not a whole lot, okay? And then I'm going to mix it all up a little bit, get it all mixed and coated in here. Get it all over everything, get the honey, the rub, all mixed up, get it all over everything. Get everything nice and coated, all right? And then I'm going to pour some apple juice in there. Okay, doesn't need a ton. Mix it all up, get it all mixed up real good. All right. Smells good already. All right. And then get them all laid out in here, nice layer at the bottom. I'm just using a small aluminum pan this time. I've got much larger ones, but I'm not doing a lot of these this time around, so Just use a smaller pan, plus it'll fit a lot easier into my smoker with all the other stuff I have in there. All right, so this part is done, it's ready. I don't know, I think I might just drizzle a little bit more honey on there. I don't measure anything, I just kind of, you know, just kind of get it in there. A little bit more barbecue sauce. All right, mix it all up. It's gonna be, these things are gonna be like meat candy. I've heard people refer to burnt ends, you know, as meat candy, and I'm telling you that it's probably the best description you could have for burnt ends. Burnt ends originally started with the tip of the brisket is where they started doing burnt ends. That's where they really came from. The very tip of the brisket. When you smoke a brisket, it would cut off the part of that tip and chuck it up into cubes and do this and make burnt ends. It's beef, but the pork belly works amazingly good for this. It's just amazing. But let me grab some foil real quick. Little tip on the foil. I don't know if y'all know this, a lot of people don't. I didn't know it for years, but right here on the end, there's a little tab. And if you poke that little tab into the center of the foil, it doesn't come out. Anyway, so it keeps it in there. So I'm gonna cover these up with some foil. Cover these up with some foil. I'm gonna pop them back in the smoker for probably an hour. Kind of braising these tips. I'm gonna pop it back in the smoker about an hour, around 250 degrees for about an hour-ish. I'll check them to see what I really want to do. But I'm gonna take them now. I'm gonna pop them in the smoker. Like I said, I'm gonna leave them in there for about an hour, and then what I'll do is, after about an hour-ish, I'll pull this back out. I'll take the foil off of it, and then I'll put them right back in the smoker for probably another 30 minutes or so. And then smoking meats is not about it's about temperature, but it's not so much about temperature as it is the tenderness of the meat. You want to take, like, you know, your digital probe for your thermometer, the probe, or like a skewer, and just kind of poke your meat, and when it goes in there, just like going into butter, that's when you know it's right. And like for the pork butt, you want a little over 200 degrees. I hear a lot of people say the magic number is 203 degrees. You know, like that pork butt, I'm making pulled pork with it. These right here, you're just gonna feel them. It'll feel all squishy. The fat will be rendered down. It's all about appearance and how they look and how they feel, more than temperature. You know, and the time is just whatever time it takes. It depends on the temperature. But you don't want to cook it too fast, too hot. Okay? So anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to put these back on the smoker. Like I said, 250 for about an hour. I'm going to pull them off, take the foil off, put them back in for around 30 minutes. And you know, we'll do the low and slow thing here. And then we'll look and see what the final product is, and I'll show it to you, and I'll give it a little taste. And believe me, you got to try this. If you have never tried it, you should try it. It's amazing. It's super easy. It just takes time. That's about it. Anyway, low and slow with Mark. I'll be back with you later.